DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. She's calling for, quote, a full travel ban on a number of countries who are, again, a quote, flooding our nation with killers, leechers and entitlement junkies. Congressman Byron Donalds joined me earlier in the program today. I asked him, is that travel ban justified?
It is warranted. I think the administration's take on this is the appropriate one. This is why when President Trump came into office, the first order of business was shutting the border down completely. That promise was made and that promise was kept. Now it's about making sure that we really just pause a lot of the immigration into the United States while we get our house in order to a large degree.
Tricia McLaughlin from DHS joins me now. Tricia, you give me the justification for this very wide travel ban. Let me ask a supplemental here. It reminds me of the Muslim ban that President Trump put in place in his first term. Is this a Muslim ban?
Well, I won't go ahead of the President of the United States, Stuart, but what I will say is it is a privilege, not a right, to come to the United States. And what we should be having in this country, what President Trump and Secretary Noem and the Trump administration demand, is that if you come to this country, you contribute. You don't defraud the system. You don't use our social safety net as a hammock. You don't harm or kill Americans or otherwise commit any crimes against them. It should be a net positive for the American people, for those from other countries to come to this country. And so what Secretary Noem is doing when she's recommending these countries of concern is that she's looking at the data. She's following the analysis. Who are individuals from certain countries that are defrauding the American system, that are bringing crime and criminals to this country? Where this is a whole of government approach. Secretary Bessent has been fully involved, the State Department, and of course Secretary Noem. We are making sure we are putting the American people first when it not only comes to jobs, but of course safety. That is the #1 job of a president, and President Trump is doing a phenomenal job, especially in the wake of this terrorist attack that happened just a week ago.
Yeah, the White House is doubling down on its mass deportation pledge. Are you going to deport all of the 8 million people who are here illegally? No carve-outs for anybody? They've all got to go. Is that the policy?
Well, it is at least 8 million. We believe it's north of 20 million illegal aliens who entered this country in the last 4 years alone. But Stuart, I must say, I don't think it can be overstated the danger that Joe Biden and the administration put the American people in. Not only those 20 million plus illegal aliens that were unvetted.
If it's 12 million people, are you committed to removing 12 million people from our society? All 12 million?
Absolutely. If you are in this country illegally, you broke America's laws. But, Stuart, what's very important, and I think we have to point out, it is not just those 20+ million people who entered the country illegally with no vetting. It's also those millions of people who entered this country under the Biden administration who came in under the parole programs or other visa programs that were completely exploited with zero or paper-thin vetting. That is an utmost concern. We saw last week that this Afghan national came in under Operation Allies Welcome. He had very little vetting, no biometric data, no criminal background check, cyber or financial crime background check. That is an enormous problem and put the American people at risk, and it ended up with one of our heroes dead.
Look, I understand entirely. I'm just wondering what are the economic consequences of removing 12 million people from our society. And there are economic consequences. That's a debate
Stuart,
for another time.
I have to say, if our economy relied on illegal immigration to be successful, Joe Biden would have had a booming economy. Clearly, that's not the case.
OK, got it. Tricia, thanks very much for joining us. The debate will continue for sure. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Stuart.
The State